the bottom of it with your host, Joshua Moriarty.
Hello, welcome back. Episode 58 of The Bottom of It with me, your host, Joshua Moriarty. Been a few weeks. COVID really put a dampener on my podcast game, but then I think that's the least of mine or anyone else's worries, I imagine. Been very lucky here in Melbourne. Things have been quite chill. There's been too much mania, really. I hope everyone is okay out there in the freaky places and all the health workers are having their wheatgrass shots and getting the support that they need. I never actually knew what the deal with the wheatgrass shot was, but I always paid the extra $4 at Boost Juice and hoped for the best. Maybe it works. I don't know. I have been taking a supplement. It's a mushroom extract powder that Dan from Miami Horror makes. This brand is called T-Lixer, and I really think it's been helping me to not be a fucking idiot. My brain stopped working at the start of this year. It seemed to get really dumb. But I'm getting sharper. Just a spoonful of mushroom makes the brain dump go down in a relatively harmless way. Doesn't taste bad. Just pop it in your smoothie or your juice. And I think Dan actually puts it in his coffee. Check it out, T-Lixer. It's called Teelixir. It's the bizzo. That's got to be the first sponsorship thing I've ever done on this podcast. That's free advertising for Dan, but I love Dan and he gave me some free samples, so really it's not that free, but he didn't tell me to do it. Thank you, Dan. Love you. You're the man. He's the best. All right, on to today's episode. It's Nicolaas Oogjes from cult Melbourne band No Zoo. Self-described as heat beat, No Zoo is a primordial form of melty and wonky goo. Well, that's what Nick said during the interview. Anyway, here's a bunch of different words and ways to describe the ethos and ideas that make up the ZUniverse. I've known about the band for years. Ben from Miami Horror is a fan and he got me onto them. And then our friend Sashi, who was the bass player in Melbourne band World's End Press, he joined No Zoo too. You hang around Melbourne long enough and eventually sort of all of your music worlds collide with each other. So there's sometimes up to 10 people on stage with No Zoo when they play live. It's a party. There's lots of flesh, muscles, rotor toms, percussion, funky bass lines. The party whistle gets blown. Whoop whoop, some horny action, the trumpet or sax kind, but maybe the other kind of horny too, actually. Yeah, I really dig it. Nick is the driving force behind the band, and he sort of keeps that circus going. So Nick also has another project, an alias, Cong Josie, which he's finishing a record for currently. We talk about that in the podcast. We talk about the B-grade movie that we thought coronavirus was gonna be. We recorded this a few months ago before the whole shit hit the fan, so we didn't quite know what was coming, but I think he sensed the ominousness of it. Like how in the movies on the telly, there's always like the broadcast in the background. Just quietly, you hear a little bit while they're eating their breakfast, and next thing, the zombies take over the entire world. We start off talking about the Prince Love Sexy album cover. Just so you know, I had a painting of it on my studio wall that Aaron Shanahan, the old Miami Horror member, gave to me, and he put my face on it, just so you get a bit of a context. If you know that image, it's quite the spectacle. Have a look at it. But that's what we start off talking about. Anyway, so here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 58 with Nicolaas Oogjes from No Zoo. Enjoy. I used to have it, we would have lapel mics, and then no one would know that the interview had started because I just put them on and then start talking. And the one problem with these is that I can't quite pull the same trick on everybody anymore.
Can't get those gotcha moments anymore.
Well, it's just that you sort of go for 5 or 10 minutes beforehand and no one realizes that it's actually happening.
See, I'm questioning everything about reality right now.
I know.
I reckon it's happening right now.
Yeah, it may be. I have to explain that, by the way. Do you know that
Prince.
Yeah, okay, good.
I hadn't seen that yet, but yeah.
Some people don't know that it's Prince though, and they think that I'm just seriously flexing on them in my boudoir.
What an amazing original image, and what an amazing image of yourself as nude Prince.
It's driving me mad. I really need to get rid of it.
No, I love it. I'll take it off your hands.
Would you?
Well, we'll see how the interview goes. And
You're
if
welcome. But why would you really want that?
look, my partner wouldn't be happy only not because of you, but
Could we just change it back to Prince's face?
Is that possible?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I think it's done now.
I've been seeing those Cong Josie pictures that someone's been doing for you. Is that right?
Oh, paintings. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend.
Can you just get the same
Matt.
person to just touch up that and put your face on it, and we keep the tradition going?
Yeah, I mean, I think my ego could do with that. Yeah, sure.
It sort of ends up working against your ego. I don't know. I feel like it just makes me feel silly and self-conscious for the fact that every time anyone comes here, I have to...
Disclaimer.
Yeah, explain it.
Disclaimer alert.
I had a young girl, like a 19-year-old girl, come to do a writing session the other day.
Okay.
But I don't even think she really noticed it. And then even if I feel like if I had explained it, would she have even known who Prince was? Look, a lot of 19-year-olds would, but she didn't strike me as the sort of person who did know too much.
And then it's
about
like
it.
you're drawing attention to it by discussing it. Especially as the first thing when they come in, like, okay, is this the real deal?
Exactly. And the other one was before I had this gold, fold out thing. My bed is over there, so I always felt a bit weird about that as well.
Yeah. Good call to petition the room
I
here.
think it needed to be done.
It's a lovely room though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got everything that I need here now.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
why it's difficult going back to LA because I don't have everything that I need here. That's why I keep getting sucked back here.
Yeah.
Because, it's back to like a little bit more struggle. Not that much. There's heaps of friends with studios and gear and things like that. But this setup...
mainly for music, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, to just be able to plug in and go kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I was there, I was living... There's a sort of Miami horror house over there. So those guys all moved over. And then I was sort of the last one to arrive. So we had a little similar sort of setup to this upstairs in that house.
Yeah.
But it just got... I love Ben and Miami Horror very, very much. And we were living together for years and it was great. But I just think eventually, we probably shouldn't do this forever.
Yeah,
At some point, maybe
in
we
each other's
should...
pockets.
Yeah. It's probably better for our relationship. The fact that we managed to not annoy each other at all for years was great. And I thought, let's not push this any further than than needs
You
to
do
go.
often hear of, good musical output coming from people that can manage that for a while, have that kind of dedication.
Do you live with anyone from your band, or you have been in that sort of intense?
No, never. No, I live with my partner. I've got a little baby girl now as well. In a small Persephone,
There's a song about it.
Right. I was like, how do you know that? Your research is impeccable.
I had to click one link.
Okay. Yeah. I wrote a song about it. How's that? And Margarita is my partner who.
Right. I like that one.
Yeah. Cool. That's good.
Oh wow! So you have Margarita and Persephone.
Yeah. Like, why not? I wouldn't do it in a Nozu context. Probably it's probably taking over a bit too much. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so we lived together. I've never done the full. I used to fantasize about the kind of Dogs in Space. Have you seen Dogs in Space?
No, what's that one?
It's by Richard Lowenstein. Michael Hutchence plays like the lead role.
Right. I've heard of this. Yes.
80s St Kilda, or North Side. Oh, Richmond, house in Richmond, and it's just shambolic. They all love Countdown. They have big raging parties, and there's a sheep in there, in the next day. And I used to kind of fantasize about that life, but I never really. I kind of not voyeuristically, by proxy, had many friends that lived a bit more of that kind of life.
Yes, of course. But how old were they when they were not your friends? How old were NXS guys when they're doing that?
I mean, he's just playing a role in that.
Okay,
but
so
it
it's
was
not
based
actually-
on a band called The Ears, and I think they were probably all like, early 20s at the oldest.
Yeah, you got to be early 20s.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think, I thought I did associate it with the creative times, and making good art, but also I think for myself, it's come with space and actually being quite separate from any influences right in front of me, or
So you
Yeah.
like, so even with Nozu, you're sort of the, I don't know, the linchpin, the sort of brains, I guess. Would you say that, or the?
definitely wouldn't use the term brains. Maybe.
What is the term that you use in this? Yeah, I always wonder because it is. I don't know. Did you start the band? It's sort of-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's your baby, maybe.
it is my baby.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it
the
is
way
my
to put it.
baby, and there's other people's. This is a bad analogy since we just said baby, but fingerprints all over it, or their own. Everybody brings. Such a cliche.
You
but
send the most emails and arrange for everyone to be at the place.
I do all the band management, all the
yeah.
10 people, like, and have the drive and the thing that moves it forward.
Yeah, and the final say most probably at the end of the recording process of what bits may be cut out from the songs and
Yeah. I kind of do that and then show the guys what I've
Yeah.
done, and it's kind of more on the day, so no one has to do anything except show up to a rehearsal or kind of have some jams that we then they record on the day that are like 10 minutes long at least, and then I bunker down for a year or two.
Right.
Sometimes I've been working on one for a while now, the follow-up album that we recorded in 2017. I think we recorded like 13 mega long tracks, and then I kind of cut it up and just try to find the conceptual world that it sits in, what kind of lyrical content. But yeah, it's probably unlike any other band you've of, to be honest. I haven't met anyone else or people from bands or artists that function in the same way as our weird mutant kind of baby.
I remember my friend Chris, it was in Grizzly Bear. When he was in New York, the TV on the radio guys, he said, would just get heaps of people to come in and lay things down and just add bits and pieces, and then that they would sort of go away afterwards and carve off what didn't need to be there. But
Yeah.
it's not a particularly common way of doing it.
Yeah, but even
much.
that, I don't know much about that, but I'm not sure that like the people that came in are still have an identity with the band or
I think
seen
they-
as part of the band.
No, not really. I don't think
Yeah.
as well. So obviously, some of the guys in the band, but yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did, like
yeah.
collaborative, just get people in kind of thing.
It's kind of anyone that's kind of gravitated to Nozu of like we've got along just as a human to human,
Yeah.
first and foremost, and then they already know something about Nozu and the freakiness of it, so they already have some part of that, and then they kind of come up with their own alter ego, I guess, or apply their own freakiness to that, so they don't come in and then they're like, I don't know, something completely different, and then impose that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of
They kind
course.
of like if it was a is globulous a word? I'm picturing like
Sure.
like
We
like
can make it a word.
yeah, and they kind of attach themselves to that
Mm-hmm.
squishy noises that happen. It's like a goo. It's like a primordial kind of goo.
I can
Nozu.
dig it.
It's melty and it's like yeah, it's wonky and gooey. That's how I see.
How long
Yes,
has
yeah.
it been going? The furthest thing I could find back was 2012. But is it?
Oh no, it goes further back
Wow.
than that. Yeah, 2007.
Whoa! Right.
I started just making really weird recordings. I'd never recorded anything before on Windows Media Player. Do you remember on desktop computers there'd be one recording function? I don't know if you,
yeah.
as in you can press play and you can record.
Yep. Yeah,
I
and
don't know
I
if you
guess you would use it, and then you'd reverse it and do silly
You
things
could
like that
reverse?
because it was just
Exactly, yeah.
very, very basic.
It had reverse and it had echo, and you could also put like little samples into it. Like
I never did that.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember how I used to do it, but I'd like save it like with 2 different samples, then save it with 3, and it was actually quite high quality WAV files as
Yeah.
well. But anyway, I didn't know what I was doing, and that was 2007.
2007.
Um,
Not everyone had a Mac yet.
it wasn't a Mac. Yeah, it was
and
just some kind of laptop.
yeah, people were still kind of. I don't feel like everyone had a Mac until about 2011 or something.
It happened at one point where
suddenly everyone just had a computer.
Yeah.
But 2007 wasn't. You were still sharing them a little bit.
Yeah, I think I did it on my partner's computer quite a bit. I remember smashing her screen one day because I had it set up in our little room in Brunswick, our lounge room, and they had the power cord like reached across the room and like tripped over it, and probably had one mic I'd found from an op shop, and it was that kind of setup. But I was just so happy with myself that I'd created music. Like I was in a band, like playing drums, kind of post-punky kind of band, but always felt like I just had something to do. Like I should just, I don't know, something to get out of my head. And then, so I did that. It was on MySpace. And then in 2009, a friend helped me record another EP that I just put out by myself. Once again, it was me with the help of someone kind of more that was savvy with Cubase, I think it was.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And then I just sent it to Triple R, like kind of just on a whim. And Simon Winkler, who's still there as the music coordinator, loved it and asked for more copies. And I still remember when I got that little email and I was wrapped. I was like, I've made it. Like, that's it. So, and without that, I don't know if then I would have been like, oh, we should play live. And so it's kind of been just stepping out into the, off a plank a bit Nozu, just doing things. You were saying something about brains before, about Nozu. It's definitely like the opposite of brains. So, it's just the subconscious and just moving forward. And it's somehow worked out well.
Has there been a sort of vision for it throughout that whole time, or it's just kind of play it as it goes?
Yeah, no, it's I like the idea.
It's conceptually strong.
Yeah.
There's lots of muscles in it.
Yeah, there's lots of muscles. No, it's really restricted.
Lots of flesh and muscles. I like that.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's in a small box what Nozu is. And like from the start, we came up with a genre name that was Heat Beat as a joke, but it seemed to work. And we were like, then we don't have to bother with, journalists and other people deciding what we are.
Yes,
and
I
it
like
kind of worked out. It was around the time when like there were like a lot of fun genre terms like witch house and I don't know, like they just seem to be popping up at all times. And so we just decided that was the music that we were making, as if it was like something that was known in history or something. But I think we're the only Heat Beat band still. But
there's no spin-off bands from the other guys in your band who
well, there are, but I don't know how much. Yeah,
they've got their own genre label now.
Yeah, they got their own things. Yeah, I'm sure some of them have been inspired a little bit from obviously working within the Heat Beat structure. But no, conceptually, like visual artists and a lot of bands I've always liked that seem like a fully formed kind of package from the start to the end.
It's so hard to do that though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the way it's been able to work is that I've just been like, it's just going to come from one head, the main conceptual thing. So that's me. But then we can add all the details within that framework.
Yes. But that's true. I think that is
Yeah.
important that it is one person sort of has to have, a huge part of what the identity of it is going to be. Otherwise, it gets really, really weird, really, really quickly.
Yeah, it can do the whole democracy kind of thing.
And, which can be cool for the music side of things. That can work, like the clash. But I think for the clash of people's different ideas.
I was thinking the band, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see.
No, I don't know
the
enough,
different things in there. Yeah.
I don't know enough about them.
Okay,
but no, but yeah, for the sort of vision and the direction and the identity, one person. For sure, it's important.
And it's kind of just become more and more fun to be self-referencing, and like a lot of the songs reference old songs. Not that anyone would know, but that's fine because I like it, like children's books or cartoons or something where there's rules for that particular world. And so in my head, Nozu is kind of doesn't even exist in the real world. it's like a ZUniverse. So there's plenty of puns out there that we like to use.
ZUniverse.
But no, it's just
Cool.
like, I mean, all the vocal, there's always something wonky about it, or something that's otherworldly. It's not folk music that's laid bare, and I always wanted people to be in a bit of a fantasy state as they dance to it, or just feel it. It's, as I said, it's the opposite of brain, so it's just like a feeling. Yeah.
It's the Spirit Beat video
Yeah.
in that total alternate reality universe, and the sand and the hills and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. It's perfect. That kind of captures.
That was the most ambitious thing. And
Yeah, you pulled it off though.
I think we
totally
did, but
that video's great.
It was really hard. Pulled it off enough that you can try to do something ambitious like that, and I've seen it not come off. I've had failures as well, where it's like you need every detail.
It takes so much work.
You need that person to not look like a model, like, or you need a real diversity of like people in the video for it to feel like it's from a real world.
Who did that for you?
Jack Petty did it.
Okay, I don't think I know him.
Yeah, he's done it. Like, he was fantastic on it. It felt like working like on an Ozploitation film, like Mad Dog Morgan or something, where it was like we were out there in Clunes. It was really hot. It's very real, the video, as far-fetched as some of the shots are. It, like, that feeling of, we wanted it to feel like you need a glass of water after it, like, just to be so hot. But yeah, he just killed it, and we worked so well together on that. And so it's fun when you can really bounce off people, and they're not afraid to be like, oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's push it.
Oh, we can get some greyhounds from people and spend half a day trying to get them to.
There's just not that many people I find that have that level of commitment to the detail and are willing to, and especially as you get older,
Yeah,
it just gets harder, and you get lazier, and you don't have the sort of drive to push it to that place.
yeah,
A little bit with those sorts of things. I don't feel like I've given up on my drive for music of pushing things.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make sure I go the extra mile, but with that side of it, it just can be really hard.
because it can take away like just time.
Yeah, it just takes so much time.
mental capacity for the thing that you're doing. I know the conundrum for sure. Yeah.
And then I guess you just think about music videos and you wonder, does anyone even care anymore?
Yeah.
But I was so happy watching that the other day. I just, this is just beautiful art for art's sake, weird world. And I love people's commitment to doing that sort of thing. It's like, it's kind of useless because it's beautiful. When it's when it's great art, it's useless.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. Yeah, that's when I was like, this is fucking awesome, because this is just
and useless.
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. For me, like, I've tried to never be, with Nozu, I wanted it to be that conceptually strong package from the start. So I've made it a point in my own head, but to never be embarrassed or to regret anything, and that they don't exist, hope, in my mind in a linear fashion, like, oh, that was 2016, we've moved on. I see it as like, I want to keep adding, and they all still exist to paint a picture of Nozu. And I think maybe it's from reading too many, being into the history of music and into, well, for me, I've found things retrospectively so often. So I would like, in an ideal world, for someone to look back and find like a treasure chest of a whole Nozu world that relates to itself.
See, I love that. I like, because there's you notice so many people, especially in this Australian sort of music industry, who are creating and writing for Triple J or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a real direction of just making music that's got all the sounds that you use now.
Yeah.
And just like, they'll have the cut up vocal sample in the background, or the particular like just things to just make it sound modern, so that they can get on the radio station and get success in this. And it's like, that's not what true art is about, and that's not going to be cool in 10 years time. No one's going to look back and find that song and go, oh wow, great. It's sort of
what I find happens is that that kind of world, which we're not in for a few reasons, mainly because of musical limitations. Maybe, no, not really, but we can't even play that game for starters. But also, what I find with that, like I kind of know the sounds that you mean, and then what seems to happen, I think it's really trendy, and then it becomes advertising music.
Yeah.
And then it's not cool. Like that's
then it's just
because
over.
like of course like advertisers or want to be on the vanguard or what. So it's just this like little like it eats itself. I think like of course there'd be many like highly talented.
No, there's some great
people,
ones in the sort of mix of it. There's like one good one for every 100 shit ones that copy it.
Yeah.
But I like that idea of, making something that, that thought of someone finding a Nozu record in 20 years' time and going like, in another side of the world, and they find it like, who is this? What was this band? And then they can go and like, oh, there's all this amazing content. Like that you actually created a total world for it.
Yeah, that's kind
and
of
that's like worst case
dream.
kind of scenario of it not being successful enough that it sort of gets discovered later. But there's so many other ways that it can go as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But thinking of it like an actual prop, like, you want to make something that could be culty, iconic, classic, and cool and last for a long time.
Yeah.
Instead of just being some modern trendy bullshit.
Yeah, and as I said, like actually, you mentioned Triple J. I think the only feedback I've ever heard about Nozu, because of course we've never been on there, maybe a couple of times, but they've never picked up on it, is that we're too adult, and I like that.
Yeah,
we're too adult.
Yeah,
like what does that mean? But also, I know what it means.
Well, it's a youth station. It's for the kids, It's
Yeah.
for like 18 to 24-year-olds, isn't it? That's kind of their demographic. So when you're outside of that, I find it funny. There's so many people who whinge and complain about that radio station, or go, oh, they don't play us, but they play those guys and their shit. And like, don't fucking worry about it, man. There's like a whole world of music out there. There's numerous countries, numerous radio stations, so many places to get played, and also they support lots of musicians and have done heaps for Australian music. So just because they don't like you, or they play some crap stuff, don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Yeah, like it probably comes up a lot, but we're so like blessed in Melbourne to have like Triple R and PBS.
Yeah, that's
to the
awesome.
point that like probably myself and a lot of other people are almost completely content with that. Yeah, and I still get like such a kick to like hear us on those stations or something, because I don't know, maybe I have a pretty small world view, but it's just so nurturing here. I remember an ex-band mate he kind of quit a band that he was in. He's like, like, what's the point? You like, you do your stuff, then you hope to get played on Triple R or something, and then what else is there? But like, that's kind of the reason for it for me, I think. Yeah.
So that's sort of, there's no giant ambition for it, and
no, it's like it's deliberately an unambitious band. I don't like. I mean, we are conceptually and about the music, and I think that's worked in our favor. Like ironically, so we've got to tour a lot of the world and play some really cool stuff. But being uncompromising is the only reason to do it. Like we, deliberately, possibly, like. I'm always going to work another job. I don't want to live off music. I feel like I'll start thinking about it a bit differently.
It does happen,
Yeah. I don't want it to ever be a job. And most of the guys in the band, some are musicians, so they'll do other music related things. But as a band, it's I've also made it really hard by having 10 people ideally at each show. And
does that mean it rotates a little bit?
A little bit, but surprisingly, the whole point, the way it all kind of started was I was in another band. It was the first one where you take it really seriously. Mm-hmm. I thought, this is it. This is like I was going to say cash cow, but something, golden goose or something
And that was with, who was it with? Some good friends or high school buddies or what?
Post high school, yeah. So I was in a band in high school, and we did play around, venues and that kind of thing. But then this was the coming out of that, finding my own identity.
But that was all super serious. Everyone was like,
yeah, it was.
Come on, guys, we're going to do it. Take over the world style.
A little bit, especially from one member. There's always
Yeah,
that was like the mid-noughties where like bands from Melbourne were getting popular, Sydney bands, all that wave kind of happened.
What genre was this band?
It was post-punky kind of, like the term used to be angular guitars used to be on everything.
I was there, man. I remember all of that.
Yeah. I think we're both from around the same time.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, kind of Gang of Four-ish, Wire influenced kind of stuff. But anyway, the music was one thing, but also it was just the feeling that this is the thing that we need to do, to the point that it just stressed me out so much. And then there's like band dynamics. There was that democracy kind of thing we were saying before. And all I thought once I left that group was, I don't want there to be strings attached anymore. So this new group, whoever comes in and whoever still comes in, like I just found myself saying to Celine, the synth player, recently, if at any time you're just like not into it, just, I don't want you to be in it if you're not into it.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever feel obliged at all. And so that's worked in our favor a lot. So like we genuinely have a great time when we're with each other, and when we're on stage, it's like a genuine thing. There's no one clocking in and clocking off. And yeah, I want people to leave if they want and pursue other projects. There's no hierarchy or anything. But that said, about 70-80% of them have just stuck around, maybe because
that's great.
Because of that.
Well, because the vibe's good. Because it's good fun.
Yeah, and with that, like I manage how often we play, and I don't try to put too much pressure on them in terms of rehearsals and photo shoots and blah blah blah, all the stuff.
You were overseas. Because Sashi did that tour with you, did he?
Yeah, Sashi's in the group still.
Yeah, he's totally in it.
Sashi's amazing.
I love that guy.
He's just the best presence on stage.
Yeah, that's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
He seems so happy about it, because in World's End Press, it was kind of what we were talking about before. Not that they were going to take over the world or anything, but I think it was hard with the four of them and the democracy and, just being in one of those bands.
Yeah.
I love that band. I
love them.
Yeah,
as well.
They were so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I think coming out of that to just find a thing where he can come and have fun, play the bits, have a good time, and then not have to stress too much about everything. He's just seems, every time I've spoken to him about it, he seems really, really happy.
Yeah.
So it's everything that you've just been saying. It's kind of
and he's said that as well. But that's the perfect example.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to wear a top ever, which he also... Well, I got him to wear a top.
On.
Yeah. We had a show a couple of weeks ago, last weekend, and I did get him to wear a shirt because we were making it's like unbuttoned, but
okay.
Yeah. So it was still very sexy. Because we were doing a little video, and I thought I might just add to the,
Yeah.
But otherwise, he doesn't have to wear a shirt.
But so what was was it a Europe tour? I can't remember.
Yeah, the last one, we did a bunch, like maybe 3 times. We went to Europe in the space of a couple of years, because we had a really great touring agent over there who's just quit the game to go into the wine business. So that's a thing. But yeah, we released our last album in 2016, Afterlife.
Yes.
And with Chapter Music. And yeah, kind of like France, kind of like Snowzoo a little bit, and a few places like that. And then, yeah, we just got the opportunity, even with 10 of us, I think.
Yeah, how does that...
Or 8 to 10, maybe 8. It was 8 of us when we went, but still, that's a lot. And still managed to make it work. Like, we went broke at the end of it.
It must have been so much fun.
Oh, so much
Taking
fun.
8 people.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Proper, that's like Aussies go wild in Europe stuff.
A little bit. Yeah. And we do have, I was going to say a reputation for, not really. We're just a little
everyone likes to have fun.
Party within of our own.
Of course.
And it's great because you have like these little different groups, obviously, within such a big band. So there's always someone vibing. There's always someone not feeling well. There's always someone that's down for a deep chat. There's, someone that wants to go for a walk or someone that wants to stay out all night. So there's always those options.
I like it when the touring parties gets a little bigger like that because, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
We did a lot with Miami Horror where it's just the 4 of us and a sound guy. And totally fine. It's cool. But, sometimes you're like, oh, it's just us again.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
when we did a trip recently in Mexico and the manager came and we had a few guest vocalists and a few other people. And it was just a way better vibe because everyone was there and there was just more, like you're saying, different groups hanging out together and always something to do.
Yeah, there's just different perspectives as well. Someone that might be newer or like,
they're more
along for the
excited about
ride.
it.
Yeah, they might be seeing all the stuff in a different light, which is always exciting. Mm-hmm. Getting to be like, whoa, look at that rider. That's just great. Right? That's always the fun thing when you tour as well. You're like, what's going to be on the rider, or who are we going to meet tonight, and what weird experience are we going to have? I just had to do a little. I'm doing this DJ set tonight for this obscure disco punk group called Use No Hooks. That had this incredibly funky Aussie music from the early 80s that Chapter Music kind of have reissued in the last few years, and they're about to do another reissue. But the reason I bring it up is because we were lucky enough to do a show in Russia, which is something I never thought we'd do.
Cool.
That was broadcast on national TV in some I think they have a Saturday night, and they go to different kind of maybe what they do for New Year's Eves in some places. They go to different things that are happening. But yeah, that's kind of one of those examples where they played a Use No Hook song anyways, the long way around it. And I remember dancing with the guys to that, being freaked out that this Russian DJ was playing this obscure 80s disco punk stuff. And yeah, my mind's just going to those kind of memories that is just I can't quite believe that music's taken us to those places.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And yeah, it's sometimes hard to even, when you get back, to explain it to someone or I
always just find I sort of forget a lot of it until I remember it when telling a story to somebody, or you're somewhere and then it's sort of like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them that it just...
Exactly. Yeah, and I've only just remembered this because we're doing this thing for Use No Hooks. That was my long-winded way of coming about an anecdote there. It was right on the water too, where the Pussy Riot church was overlooked it, and okay. I don't know where this story's going.
Doesn't
Joshua,
matter. I've never been to Russia. I would love to go.
Yeah,
it was nearly a Miami Horror gig there,
right?
But just never ended up happening.
Yeah,
I was totally up for it.
And the people that hosted it were amazing and lovely, and
they're always quite happy to have you, especially when you're from so far away.
Yeah, we were a novelty for them.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And usually because they'll love your music. They're kind of really into it because it's sort of obscure to them a bit, but they're right behind it. So they're super passionate about the gig when they have you in those places.
Yeah.
What was your sort of instrument growing up? Was music a thing for you, or
or
art?
Actually, art first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I was the kid, in primary school that could draw. Started drawing bodies a bit quicker than the stick figures. Started drawing velociraptors really well.
Only do the stick figures really.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrible.
Yeah, and I think that went a long way to me finding some kind of identity. Mm-hmm. So I was someone that could do something artistic for other people. So I draw things for them, and it was art. And my earliest memory of what I ever wanted to be was a cartoonist, which never happened. And I did look into animation courses, but Didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I loved music, and I started playing drums in primary school, but then drum kit in high school. But then Mitch, who is now the percussionist in our band, was the drummer. Like, he was the guy that was good. He was like the protege. And there wasn't enough room, like, you know, as a teenager for the identity to be like, oh, I'm the second best. Or not even second best, to be honest. I just big noted myself there. I definitely wasn't even the second best, but like, he was a good friend. I'm like, okay, Mitch is the drummer, and you know, it's like the Ninja Turtles. He was like, there can't be two Raphaels, you know. I'm thinking cartoons now. But I still stuck with it. Played in some punk bands and played Battle of the Bands and did all that kind of stuff. So I can still play drum kit. And then in that post-punk kind of band, I was playing that. I was like, it'll be a bit of a laugh to, you know, play that. But then something, the ego or something in me wanted to come out to the front. So I brought my rototoms with me out to the front because I loved rototoms at the time. And then I've just stayed there with different drums in front of me.
Yes.
I picked up a trumpet
You're
once.
blowing the whistle as well, right?
I got a samba whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up the trumpet, tried to teach myself. Got to a level where it sounded enough like free jazz, but I didn't know what I was doing. After
That's
someone,
a good trick, actually.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's so avant-garde. It's like, he just doesn't
because
really
I
know
can
how to
blow
play
it.
that well.
My embouchure isn't bad, but I don't know what the notes are, and it's just by ear. But there's a musical history context where atonal trumpet sounds pretty good with a funky background, like a certain ratio, or a lot of those kind of post-punk bands. So yeah, and then because I got to that level, I haven't pursued it more. But yeah, so I'm actually completely not a musician,
Right.
and I never claimed to be. But the people that I've gathered around me, there are some amazing musicians. Yeah.
But you obviously have the ear then, though, to know what it is that you want things to sound like if you're getting people coming in and playing it.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. It might just be.
Does that make you a producer, maybe, in the like classic sense of
Yeah.
what it was? Like, can Rick Rubin play? He's not a musician, really, is he? He's just a guy who's like said, "That's a vibe."
Yeah, I think that there's quite a history of that.
Yeah, that's what
Malcolm
it used
McLaren a bit. Yeah,
How does it make you feel? You sort of use that as the.
I know when I do it in conjunction with someone more skilled than me now, and Zaya, produce all the stuff and mix it with him. But
He's doing more of the technical sort of.
Yeah, he knows
computer-y-
more about the proper EQing, the proper compression. He's an engineer, and I'm not an engineer. So if we are in a studio, it's all him.
I love those guys. I love when you have one that you can work closely with, and you can just explain to them, and then they actually do the technical side. It's a dream.
Yeah. Anyone, like, there'll be people from Melbourne that maybe will listen to this episode, but they'll know who now is from Japan originally, and has one of the most amazing histories. That he's the most humble person in the world. But you start hearing, like, I won't even say some of the stories in case I get the details wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's close. I don't want to use the G word. He's close to a genius, if not. And I wouldn't say that about many people. But yeah, I've basically only ever worked with now on Nozu, I think, pretty much. And he does most of our live sound as well. But yeah, back to the producer thing. Then I'll sit there with the stuff and cut it up and take things out and chop it up and all that kind of stuff. But I love the process because I know exactly, I don't have to think at all. I know exactly what I don't like, what I go, ooh, I'm getting, like, I either laugh about it and then it stays in, or I just get really excited about something. And the really cool thing as well is being with the same group for a long time, or a lot of them, we've all synced in a lot of ways. We know what you don't play in a Nozu song, what you don't do, what's too cheesy for us, or what, Well,
that's the great thing about building that aesthetic and that sound and that identity, though, is that when you get people in, they can look at it and go, oh, I see what the parameters are here, and I know what sort of what to do when they join or when you're recording. You sort of know.
Yeah.
It was always like that with Miami Horror. Ben's the sort of, he's the you in that band. He's the guy who sort of started it, and we all work within that. But I know now what he's going to be like. Nah, you can't. You can't do that in the band. There's. Yeah, it's cool that like you come up with that identity, and everyone knows what sort of can be done within it.
And then I don't know if it's like that for you, but then kind of what the limitations of what you're doing in there, and then maybe can compartmentalize your own ideas into another project.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Which I think is really liberating as well, because then you're not putting all your eggs in this thing, and that's I think where it all starts to become a problem often for bands.
Absolutely.
When you're like, I'm giving so much to this, especially if you're touring and it's such a big part of your life. You go to any party and they're like, hey, how's Miami Horror going, man? And you're like, really...
bro, I was that guy for fucking years. Ben and I were at each other for such a long time.
Yeah.
For those reasons that I was sort of angry about the fact that I couldn't express certain parts of myself because I was mainly only in that project.
Yeah.
And then as I started other things and got it, when we just grew up and got better, it was like, oh, cool, this is great. Let's just keep Miami Horror be Miami Horror. I don't need to try and insert a shredding guitar solo in here for my own fucking ego.
Exactly. And start getting better at the calendar and being like, in June, we're going to not do that. I'm going to focus on my own thing.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, it is. But that is so true. It's funny how that exists. Yeah. So those limitations, what you sort of, you put them on, you're the sort of dictator of the limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, but the conversation never needs to happen with the members of the band or anything. Yeah, it's not like the shredding guitar solo, Slash style comes out and like, whoa, stop, everyone, cut. And then and then the wailing guitar guy's still just going with his back to us all, and we're like, yeah. No, that never happens because it's just a personal relationship with everyone. It's probably all subtle, things in conversation and what acts we're sharing around and, what we get excited about.
Do you have much sort of self-doubt with it at times? When does it sort of bum you out and you think you're terrible, or you know when to step away and have a breather? Yeah. It's not tormenting in that way too much?
Yeah, definitely do have periods of that for sure. Like I do have massive imposter syndrome because I can't. If you told me to play a C on that keyboard over there, I wouldn't know which one it is. That's how much I don't know about music. Which, maybe it's kind of a vulnerable thing to say, but maybe it's not, because I think that's why I've built Nozu in its weird wonky way, like someone.
Well, if you're aware of that and you're sort of not, it doesn't seem like you're trying to say that you're any more than what you are, but but it doesn't mean that it's not cool what you do, or it's not important. It doesn't make it any less valid just because you don't know what a C is.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was so surprised by initial reactions to some of the early recordings. Were like, I can't believe people were just like, oh yeah, this is music. Like that's such a cool feeling. And then I've just kind of thought like early reviews even that came in, often like, so one of the first reviews ever that I don't even know what it was on, but it was like, it's like Conk mixed with Albert Ayler. So, Conk? They were like a funky New York punk funk kind of band, and Albert Ayler, like a free jazz saxophonist, and it was trumpet in the music anyway. But I was like, who are they? And then I listened to them. They became influences and maybe kind of gave me the I want to say the right to make music, because I was like, okay, so it has relied on other people thinking it's a thing as well. It's like if we all believe, if one person stops believing, she's going to disappear from history. And the other thing that does give me confidence, even though I do often have self-doubt, is just, as I was saying before, once you just go and just, go to step off the cliff, like nothing ever bad has happened. Like I don't regret any musical decision or anything. So, and I'm often surprised. So, yeah.
Well, I think if you're, that with that one, especially if you're totally into it at the time when you're doing it, there's no point regretting it or feeling silly about it later, because you sort of knew at that moment you were completely impassioned and it was the right thing to do at that time, and you got to finish the song. So and it all leads you to the next place anyway. Otherwise, you'd never put any. Like, how many people do you know who have got a million demos sitting on their iTunes who are quite talented people, but they're too scared to finish them, or they don't know what to do with it?
No, I know so many people like that are so talented.
Yeah, there's plenty more people talented than us that just no one's ever heard what they've done because
I've often said, like, I think the only possible skill or talent or something that I have is that I have like too much confidence in it and too much drive, and I just go like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, it's just the ability to close, to just be a closer, get it finished and get it done and put it out.
Because there's so many talented people out there. Yeah, you're totally right. I come across that all the time. And I think
Melbourne's just
do it.
There's so many amazing talents in this city. It's wild how much. There's always a new sweet band. There's always I look at the trajectory of them, and they get built up, and then they get brought down really kind of quickly a little bit too.
Yeah,
it's like there was I'm trying to think of how it's the like party fun dance bands. There was sort of World's in Press, and then it switched to Client Liaison. Then it's kind of like they got too big, so everyone's like, oh, we can't really be as into them anymore.
Yeah.
Now and then it switches to Confidence Man or something, and then like, what will they get too big soon? And then everyone will turn to a new one. There's like always some new thing going on, but everyone's been great. Like there's so much.
Yeah, totally. I think
so much talent.
Maybe part of it as well is people go, okay, they don't need our support.
Yeah,
so much now.
A little bit.
They're off and away.
Yeah, you find what the new one is,
and that's a sweet spot, that first year or so of playing around Melbourne, where you're on a couple of bills, people see that you're on those bills, and then I think they just get offered a whole lot of gigs.
Yep.
And are everywhere. Everyone starts, it's kind of cool. It often makes me go, I want to just start something fresh.
Yeah,
to do those shows
so
again.
You can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's like you sort of get fostered, and then you get passed over to the more mainstream audiences or something. I guess that's kind of how it's always worked for everyone. Donny Benet, it's another sort of thing, was like underground, and then now he's actually off touring America, and like, oh, good on you, buddy. You've sort of everyone starts to graduate, and get to that next level, which is so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Does this sort of have an end goal for you? How long do you do this, is it Nozu for, or just art for? Like, is it you've got that impulse for the rest of your life? You think you'll always be creating? Yeah,
kind of going back to what I was saying before about always having a job, always having other parts of the life outside of music. I've probably consciously chosen for it to be a lifestyle thing, so I can't see it ever going away, or at least making visual art, but probably music forever, I want to say.
Is it just because there's always ideas in your head, there's always things you need to sort of be expressing?
I think I just feel the happiest like when there's an art project, but I guess more so in the last 10, 15 years, a music, like something that's progressing in the background. So I just, like, sometimes I think I even thought it before coming to this interview. I was like, like last night, the night before, I'll make sure I work on some music or whatever. So I'm in that space. I feel much happier the next day, have those shower thoughts about the song, and just know that, I'm progressing. I'm pretty hard on myself if I don't feel like there's some addition to the conceptual world or my own creativity or something new coming from me in some kind of artistic aspect. I don't know if that's, I don't think I've spoken to people about that really before. I don't know if you've ever felt, if you need that as well.
Mine's just an addictive compulsion of there's just always things floating around. And if I don't get them out, I'd go a little bit mental, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I reckon
but
it's similar.
yeah.
It is a mental health thing,
Yeah.
I'd say.
And it's kind
Yeah.
of like, some of them I don't ever need anyone to hear, but I don't do journal entries or anything. So a way to get the feeling out is to just do it through music, and then I can look back in 6 months and go, oh, cool, that helped me through that, to get those emotions out of my body, like a
Yeah.
cleansing sort of way. And some you feel compelled to share with the world because they're like, they serve some purpose, or I don't know, you feel good about them.
Yeah.
Others are just like deep, dark journal entries no one should ever read, and that were just for you.
So you've got some deep, dark
Look,
musical
just
journal
not deep,
entries.
dark, just like some fucking boring acoustic, like emotional shit that no one needs to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because it's a lack of being able to play much, but pretty much everything that we've worked on for Nozu has come out in some
Right.
format. Because I'm like, I've gone this far with this thing, and that's kind of the freeing thing that we were saying before as well. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's where the confidence kicks in, where it's like, well, I know this thing isn't going to go out there till it ticks all these boxes that I couldn't even tell you what they are.
But then,
and-
so sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
how you've got the solo thing, Cong Josie.
Yeah, since you're maybe one of the only people, like a handful of people have heard that.
I like it.
Yeah.
But is that going to be more terrifying to put out because it's more you, less band? Is there sort of a different feeling around it? More personal, maybe?
It's more personal. It's still got that kind of ultra, like hyper real aspect.
Yes.
So it's kind of like my id or something, that persona that I feel like when we're playing, even in Nozu, or when you're doing anything that's because of like on tour and people know you because of your music or whatever. It's that kind of part of me. But it is going to be scary when people start hearing it, mainly because it's actually the references are similar, but it's all about the throbbing, the throb of electricity. It's hard to really explain music, but and it's also from the deeper recesses of my subconscious musical influence. So it's kind of got like a little bit of rockabilly. It's got like things that are quite not Nozu anyway.
Way more you singing is...
That's actually probably the scariest thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I could actually do a whole set of it right now because I've never had any vocal training. But
There's so much character in those vocal performances, though. I like it.
The character probably is out of tune.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's like, that doesn't even matter if you do it right, It's just about nailing that thing. That's a hard thing to do. To be able to sing not perfectly in tune and it to work is very difficult, and it is working.
Okay, you've heard
some
it here
people
first.
some people just sound out of tune and fucked, and you're like, that's terrible. It doesn't sound like that at all.
Okay,
and a lot of it is
interesting
in tune. There's just some bits that are like,
and I've set myself a bizarre high stand. Like a lot of it's influenced by, say, like Roy Orbison, and,
Right.
It's very like 50s greaser and rock and roll influence. Even though I'm saying this, some people might be going, "Oh no, what are you doing?" But it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, it's your version. You think that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
and then
I know it doesn't probably sound like that at all.
When someone else hears it, it's completely different.
But to be honest, part of it was just because I have put a bit of pressure on myself with Nozu because of all the things we spoke about. The conceptual thing. There's enough people that know about Nozu. I want the next album anyway to be so conceptually focused and to be so confident of it that I have a lot of pressure on that. So this was like a release valve thing that I think, all of the things are only like the first or second take, deliberately lo-fi, it doesn't matter, and just get it out. Which is really fun.
Yeah.
And
it's important to have those other places to, even what we're talking about, if Nozu is becoming more serious, like you're saying, it shouldn't be. But if it is a little bit, then you do need another place for that outlet to let something else, let the valve off, like you said.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Nosey's not serious in the careerist aspect, but I feel like we play some really fun, big shows, big festival shows, late nights. So I actually want the people that do like us to be able to keep riding that train, you know, and like to have songs that are as strong and euphoric or something feeling, even if they might be evolving in different ways. So that's where the pressure comes in, I think. Kind of maybe shot myself in the foot by like acquiring the big, like old school nightclub band.
Yep.
And it's such a fun ride. Nosy was never going to be just that, but now I love it. And I love like having such a good time with all the friends in Nozu and going out into the audience and, you know, and people just being really into it. Like I'm a bit intoxicated by that.
I get it.
So that's where the pressure comes in. It's not even to be, I don't know, like...
You got to keep the dream
alive, we can
alive,
keep changing, we can keep evolving and mutating or devolving, but I just want that feeling for people and myself. Yeah. So Cong Josie, I can't wait to play small shows as well, Josh. Yes. Like we've built up this thing now, like we can't go and play, you know, well, we can, but it's not going to do anyone any favors to play like the Tote front bar. You know, it won't sound as good. Like, and we've had other shows that sound better. Because, like,
there's
the
a
production's
reputation
not there.
you have to sort of uphold when you get to a point.
We might as well keep up with that heightened like craziness. Yeah, so to have some other project, I really want to play small places and go and play on, you know, Wednesday night or Thursday night.
Yeah.
I have a kind of fantasy about it, maybe because I haven't done it for so long. I have a romantic vision of it.
It's not that romantic, Nick.
Yeah. I know, but all of this stuff is fantasy, to be honest, Josh. Everything's fantasy.
It is romantic, and it will be fun when you've got another project that gets to do the other bigger things. If you're just at that bottom level, then it kind of bums you out a little bit. But if you know you've got another thing that's going to be able to play to lots of people and you have a good party, then that's okay.
Yeah. And just to play on bills with a lot more bands and different bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've kind of lost that now a little bit. Like we do play festivals and everything, but it's a very different vibe than when you're playing like, you know, small groups. You kind of... you're excited, you've heard about them, they're quite fresh as well, and you just get to see a lot more of that, and I build a kind of community, kind of,
Yeah, of course.
That's really fun, and I do really miss that,
Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the future of humanity?
Oh, yeah. You know, I've listened to a few of your podcasts now, and I had to stop because there's been so many eloquent answers to a lot of these things. And I am an optimist, definitely. Yeah, like for better or for worse. It is a crazy time. This whole coronavirus thing feels like some B-grade American movie where if you switch on the TV or it's on in the background, you know, in those scenes, it's always on in the background.
Yeah.
It's
before it kicks in, like huge.
Where everyone's laughing about it at first. They're like not worrying too much. Then there's pictures of people with the masks on their face, and they're like, it's now in Italy, the first case, and it's on in the background.
And then the zombies appear.
Yes,
totally.
And the bushfires thing. I mean that was huge here, and it is huge, and it was kind of amazing and kind of crazy to see this support, especially like the music scene. I've got to say, like
it's still going on.
Still
bushfire relief shows. Yeah, it has been quite remarkable. It shows that people have a lot of love and do care. If it's it depends what the disaster is, and if it's in a place that it doesn't happen that often, then people do it. But when it's somewhere where there's always raging wars and turmoil, and everyone's like, oh, those guys again, we can't do anything about that.
No, exactly.
And that's when you have to rely on those actual proper organizations that are on the ground all of the time to do it. I'm not sure what I just ask this question.
Yeah.
I don't know what I never have to answer it.
As I said, I've heard a few of the podcast, like when you asked me to be on this, I better check this out. So I've picked up some of your ideas, though. I think I can see where, even in your responses or whatever, I'm sure you're communicating.
I stay away from everything. I don't read the news. I don't follow any feeds of anything. I didn't get into Donald Trump, or even with the bushfires, I sort of didn't even, I saw people's posts on Instagram and thing. I try and just live in this world where I only deal with the people that I meet day to day.
Yeah.
And I find that because I know I can't change the world, I can only change the circle of people around me and influence that. I know that that's all I feel personally capable of doing. That works for me. So I try and be generous and loving and giving to those around me and extend that as far as I can. But knowing all that other information only seems to make a lot of people miserable, and yet it doesn't seem to motivate them into doing anything else. Yeah. So I'm just like,
well, they're saying that with, because I work in youth work as my job, and they're saying that like a lot of young people, I can't remember what they call it, climate, basically like climate anxiety anyway.
Right.
They've got a better sounding term for that.
That sounds good.
Dysphoria? No.
That does sound cooler.
Climate
change dysphoria, maybe?
Let's say that.
They use dysphoria for gender. Isn't it just gender dysphoria? But hey, look.
Okay, no, I'm all right. No, yeah, I don't know what it is, but anyway, apparently it's a thing.
That's just like anxiety for
for the end of the planet. So it actually does make sense, but kind of what you're saying, like just focusing on it all the time can just really bum you out. Taking in the information anyway. Mm-hmm. Being proactive can make you feel the opposite, but
definitely. It's just sort of, I guess, the proactive is, we're lucky in the north side of Melbourne that every cafe's got compostable cups now, and we're like, everyone's trying to recycle, and most of your friends are vegan now, and it's sort of quite easy in our circle to be pretty, like, I don't know, I don't even know if it does make you better or decent, but like, you're kind of a lot more aware of it. So you
can make a lot more ethical personal choices.
It's a lot easier for us.
It is kind of crazy and great. And
I don't know what people out, who are living in other parts of the world, what choices they have to do that.
You could say how much our bubble, like what is it doing? If it is just a bubble, but
totally.
But I do like what you were saying, like in what's in your control, and I think that's even where it comes to dietary choice or anything like that. I think you should do what you can. Like if you can make a choice between, I do have a plant-based diet, so I'll just put that out there. But between the meat sausage and the vegetarian, they might be disgusting. I don't know. It might taste like cardboard, but like I just think if there's an easy choice between that or factory farming, and it just comes down to little choices like. Even the free range eggs thing has come such a way, where they're just next to each other. So it's just choice.
Yeah.
And I think it gets back to your original question. I do feel really optimistic about the world when I see that. I hope it's not too much of a bubble, but I do see, say, even veganism or plant-based alternatives has become mainstream in the last maybe year, really.
For
like
sure.
Every fast food chain is kind of coming on board, because as soon as it tips the point to you can make money out of it, then
totally,
which is kind of capitalist sadness of it. But there is you look back through history and there is a lot of that just progressiveness just seems to happen. I used to think it was on a complete linear curve kind of, and it was just getting better, but I have like there's chinks in that armor now, and I definitely feel, with the populism, the rise of populism and Trump and blah blah blah, that why did I just naturally think that? I think it's built in humans that we just think that things are going to get better, because if we didn't, then how do you like walk on this earth? Like if you're like, okay, things are going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, most people that you meet, you very rarely meet kind of awful bad people, do you? 90% of the people that you meet are cool and they're all flawed, but they all seem like they care about doing good for their families and for each other. And when you look at the bushfire thing, how much everyone wanted to sort of come together. So for the most part, it is just, I think human beings are pretty good. It's just we've gone a little wayward throughout history always, and then a few bad eggs kill a fucking whole bunch of people, and then we start again, and that's sort of the way it goes.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I do have this kind of doomsday feeling, but it works well for art and music. I feel like
that motivates
the compulsion you. And I've always had a bit of an existential crisis ongoing. So I don't know if that's probably not the definition of crisis, but feeling that time, because we're all only on the earth for a certain amount of time, that need to make like the compulsion to create is strong.
What do you think that sort of artists, musicians, sculptors, all of it, sort of what does it offer? What purpose does it serve, do you think? Do you feel like you're changing the world by making your band?
No, but I don't feel like it's pointless either. And I feel like, what I feel like, it's just another voice within the crowd. And so when you get that, enough voices in a crowd, then, things can change a bit, or you can be a part of the now. It's kind of probably just being a part of the world and being a voice within the world than being selfish or wanting it to be the leading voice or something. So, say one of our songs might just have, by osmosis, picked up feelings about climate change, and so there's lyrics to reference that, whether people get it or not. It's just, I'm happy and like humbled enough to be just a part of the now.
Yes.
And to be looked back as that was a human in 2020, and they had these feelings because of sociological reasons.
Yes.
I don't think I'm beyond that. I often question the free will that I have, and more so that, I just want to be a part of it. And I want to be, and then when it comes to music, I'm fascinated with music history and scenes and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind being a footnote, whether it's a little asterisk.
Yes.
And a footnote, the same way I love, the obscure, early 80s Aussie bands like Use No Hooks, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
Or like I love the no wave scene of the New York in the late 70s, which I've pursued and, made sure that we could collect our idols by playing with as many as possible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just to be a part of something. Yeah.
I do.
But I don't feel like Bob Dylan at the same time, and going to be the voice of any generation for sure.
Nah, I totally know what you mean. My ambition is I just want one song that I've been involved with to become part of the canon of music,
All right, yeah. Well, that's pretty lofty as well. Like yeah.
It's a high ambition.
Yeah.
But, there's plenty who have done it. Like there's an Excess songs that have done it. There's people that aren't who have been from similar countries and cities and places that you've been around that have managed to get one that's still played on Gold 104 that's becomes a tune.
I like that.
So if I can get one.
So within the general mainstream context.
Yeah. One song
like
that in 20 years people still listen to and that's a jam. It's becomes part of the musical canon.
Yeah, that's cool. Because when I hear a Midnight Oil song or an In Excess song, I think of everything about that time.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah, exactly.
It becomes a marker for that time.
Yeah.
So you haven't got there yet?
No, I don't think so.
Cool.
Who's to say that maybe something I've done, could end up being something, but I don't feel satisfied yet. No, I don't feel like it's
I can't wait.
Quite happened.
Can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Final question.
Yeah.
Which I always like to ask. What song could you happily never hear ever again?
Oh, wow. I was just thinking that you're from New Zealand and the canon thing while you're speaking about the song How Bizarre. But that's just because it's the last song in my head. And actually, no, I could hear that again because it's been a little while.
Yeah. It's got to be one that you hear all the time. That drives you mad.
Look, I probably have watched too much TV in the last little while, so it's probably like a song from an ad, like, I don't want to have to sing it. Who's it by? It goes, don't hold back.
Yep, Potbelleez.
Is there anybody? Yeah.
Potbelleez.
I think it's like a car ad.
Yeah, that's the Potbelleez. Don't hold back.
Don't hold back. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go with that. I'm sure there's many others.
Wow. That's a unique answer. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I remember, when that must have come out, like 2010 or 11, and we were at a festival, Miami Horror, and they were playing.
Yeah.
And he came off stage, in between while the other girl artist was singing in the band or whatever, and he was super sweaty and he was mid-set and he started talking to me and he was just like super pumped. I feel like he was on coke or something, but maybe he wasn't. He was like, and then we just fucking got in the studio and we wrote this song and it was Don't Hold Back and it's a fucking super hit or something like that. He's like, anyway, and then he ran back on stage to sing the song.
That's kind of amazing.
It was amazing.
And it goes like this, Josh.
And it goes like this, and he was there. And I remember thinking, respect, bro. You're so into it. That's cool.
Actually, Sashi and I have this joke in the band. It's slightly visual, so it's hard on a podcast, but we always love to think about those moments in the studio. It's classic behind the scenes, but the image is just of the guy, probably coked up, the producer, putting all the faders up at once, which would do nothing. But he's like, oh yeah, that bliss as you turn it up. And it was probably they were like, Bob or whatever the Potbelleez guy's name is, just on this take, don't hold back. And there's some anecdote like that. And he's like, don't hold back. Yeah. Don't hold, that's it. And he goes for it. Everyone's in the mixing booth, kind of like the end scene of Purple Rain as well, with the manager up the back that just does that knowing nod.
All
it's
feeling it.
That's
it.
a
hit. That's a hit, guys.
Put it in the can. That's a hit. Nissan called. They're already on the phone. I don't even know how they know about it. Maybe it's Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect place to leave it. Thank you very much, Nick.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Nick. I thoroughly enjoyed that chat. We hadn't met before, but obviously know a lot of the same people. It's always a joy to connect those dots and get to have a proper ramble. I've put some links to Nozu material in the podcast description. The video for Spirit Beat is bloody excellent. Definitely check that out. I think it sums up Nozu very well. Good place to start. Also keep an eye out for the Cong Josie record that he's working on. When that's done, there'll be new Nozu too. I think they've got a new single. It was supposed to be out now, but obviously it's been pushed back due to whatever it is that's going on. Give them a follow on Insta, all that stuff. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. Give your thumb a little workout. And I think that covers it for today's episode. Thank you, Nick. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Appreciate it. Give the podcast a review. If you can be fucked, it helps, I guess. I don't want to be one of those people pushing it on you. Tell me that I'm a wanker if you want. Maybe I am. It's hard to tell anymore. Until the next one, anyway. Hopefully a few weeks away now. The lockdown measures are a little less strict. Let's hope that I'll get some more local guests. I think because it's all the international people they're not going to be here for a while. So local talent, fresh talent. All right, radio. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.